وفانا بحسنه.
ما شاء الله تبارك الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. الحمد لله الذي أكرمنا وإياكم بذكر النبي المصطفى صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Habib Faisal begins by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sending praise upon the Prophet sallallahu, and then he thanks Allah for ennobling us and honoring us to remember the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
وأشكر أخي الشيخ شمس على أن وفقه الله سبحانه وتعالى لكي يجمع هذه الجمعة المباركة على أجل وأجمل ما يمكن أن يجمع له الإنسان في هذه الدنيا.
And he's grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to the brothers here that made it possible for all of us to come together in one of the most monumentous and greatest of affairs, which is to remember the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
وأشكر أخي معنا الدباغ على هذه الكلمة الطيبة المباركة.
And he thanks Sidi Ma'az, who many people don't know, but he's the son-in-law of Sayyid Muhammad bin al-Makki as well. And so he thanks him as well for his beautiful words.
معنا مثل ما ذكر ما شاء الله تبارك الله من بيت مبارك ونفس عائلة وأسرة سيدي محمد علوي المالكي، فإن السيد محمد علوي يقال له مالكي نسبة للمذهب وليست العائلة.
Yeah, so he mentions that he's from that noble family of al-Muhaddith Sayyid Muhammad bin al-Makki, and then he made a point that he's called al-Maliki by virtue of being from the Maliki school and not from the family Maliki.
ولذلك هو من بيت الدباغ. السيد محمد بن علوي من نصرة الدباغ.
And he's from the family of Sayyid al-Dabbagh, the great wali of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
وهو شيخنا وشيخ الكل.
He is our sheikh and the sheikh of everybody.
كثير من ارتبطوا بالحرمين وترددوا لها لهم أخذ وتلقي عن هذا الشيخ المبارك.
And so he came to the haram a lot, and many people took from him and benefited from him.
لكن أخينا معا فاز ما شاء الله بالقرب الحسي والمعنوي.
And so, like Sidi Ma'an, who took from him in different forms, and in physically and in spiritually.
فأكرمه الله سبحانه وتعالى بالارتباط بهذا البيت الطيب فتزوج بنت السيد محمد علوي المالكي.
And so Allah honored him in this way by linking him to that beautiful house and to be married to the daughter of Sayyid Muhammad bin Ali al-Makki.
نسأل الله أن يخرج منهم الكثير الطيب المبارك إن شاء الله.
And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bring forth from them beautiful loins.
ونحن وإياكم مجموعون في هذا المجلس المبارك.
We and all of you are here in this blessed gathering.
ذلك الفضل من الله سبحانه وتعالى.
That is a great grace from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
ولو أراد الله بنا غير ذلك لرمانا في كثير من أودية الغفلة.
If Allah wanted something different from us, then we could have been in a state of heedlessness.
والذي أخرجكم من بيوتكم.
It was Allah that brought us out from our houses, that we came out from our houses.
لكي يذكركم.
So that He could mention us.
أنتم في حضرة.
You are in a gathering.
دخلتم وأنتم تذكرون الله.
That you entered and you are remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
الجميل أنكم تخرجون وأنتم مذكورين عند الله.
What's beautiful is that you've come out and you are being mentioned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
الله سبحانه وتعالى يقول فاذكروني أذكركم.
Allah mentions the Quran, remember me and I will remember you.
فإذا كان الذي يذكرك هو الله سبحانه وتعالى.
And so if Allah is remembering you,
فمن يساوي ومن يوازي قيمة ما أنت فيه.
and so who is equal to you in the value that you hold currently?
فلذلك ينبغي للإنسان أن يعيش فضل الله عليه.
And so it is necessary that the human being remembers the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
وهذه النعمة تحتاج إلى شكر.
And this grace requires us to be grateful.
والشكر يجعل النعم تتوالى على الإنسان.
And so gratefulness increases the blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
ولئن شكرتم لأزيدنكم.
Allah says in the Quran, and if you thank me, I will increase you even more.
فنحن نجتمع على حب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم.
So we have gathered here in the love of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
فنشكر الله على هذه النعمة.
And so we thank Allah for this grace.
فيكون الثمرة أن يكون نكرم بزيادة الحب لرسول الله.
And so from the fruits of that is that it increases us in our love for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
وهكذا تتوالى علينا حتى نقف إن شاء الله في يوم من الأيام ويحشرنا الله إياكم جميعا في زمرة النبي المصطفى.
And so this will continue for us until we stand before the Prophet ﷺ, for all of the ummah of the Prophet.
فإن ما نرجوه من هذه الدنيا أن نخرج وربنا راضي عنا ونحن في زمرة النبي.
We don't hope for anything from this dunya except that we leave it and we meet Allah whilst He is happy with us and in the love of the Prophet ﷺ.
لا أفهم وجودنا معنى لوجودنا في هذه الدنيا غير أن نخرج برضا الله وبحب رسول الله.
We don't understand any other existence except the existence that we leave this dunya in the love of Allah and His Prophet.
لكن هذا المعنى غاب عن كثير من الناس.
However, this understanding is absent from many people.
ولذلك يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى
And for that reason Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says
اقترب للناس حسابهم وهم في غفلة معرضون.
that accountability has come ever closer to the human being whilst he is in a state of heedlessness, turning away.
والآية خطيرة.
This verse is extremely, it has a lot of warning.
لأن أول شيء فيها دلالة قرب الساعة.
Because one, it shows the closeness of the hour.
بعد ذلك وصف حال كثير من الناس أنهم في غفلة.
And it shows the attribute of the majority of people being in a state of heedlessness.
الغفلة بحد ذاتها مصيبة.
And the heedlessness regarding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a great tribulation and affliction.
فكيف لما تجتمع الغفلة مع الإعراض؟
So,
الغفلة مع الإعراض.
and so heedlessness was turning away.
ولذلك يقول الله في غفلة معرضون.
For that reason Allah said that they are in a state of heedlessness, معرضون, are turning away.
ولذلك يعني يجد الإنسان نفسه الحمد لله في مجلس إذا كانت تلك مجالس إعراض هذه مجالس إقبال.
And so for that reason we should recognize this blessing that if these are gatherings of turning to Allah whilst they are gatherings of turning away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
ما الذي دفعته أنت وقدمته حتى يكرمك الله بهذا الكرم؟
And so who is the one that brought you to this place where Allah can honor you?
ما الذي بذلته حتى يجعل الله قلبك معلق بهذه المجالس؟
Who is the one that has spent so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can make your heart attached to these gatherings?
لو قدمنا أغلى ما نملك من أجل أن يجعل الله قلوبنا معلقة بهذه المجالس لكان في حقها قليل.
So if you,
لو قدمنا أغلى ما نملك حتى نكون ممن يحب هذه المجالس لكان كل ما نقدمه قليل في حق الخير الذي يكون من هذه المجالس.
So even if we were to sacrifice everything that we have in order to be part of these gatherings, that would be little regarding the grace that Allah has given us.
ولكن ذلك فضل الله يؤتيه من يشاء.
However, that is the grace of Allah that He gives to whomsoever He wills.
والجميل بارك الله فيكم.
And the most beautiful thing, may Allah bless you all.
أن نرى أولادكم مثلكم في الخير معلقين بمجالس الخير.
We see that your children are like you, attached to these gatherings of goodness.
الناس الآن تعاني من أولادها.
The people today, they are helping their children.
وتجد صعوبة في تربيتها.
And they are finding difficulty in giving them tarbiyah.
مع أنهم لو ربطوها من صغرها بالرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم لم وجدوا هذه الصعوبة.
Had they attached their hearts, had they attached the hearts of their children to the Prophet ﷺ, they would not have found these difficulties later on.
لو جعلوا قلوبهم تحب رسول الله لما وجدوا تلك الصعوبة.
Had they placed the love of the Prophet in their hearts, they would not have found these difficulties later on.
لكن نجد الكثير من العوائل يهملوا في أولادهم.
However, we found many people that they just abandoned their children.
لا يهتموا بصلواتهم.
They have not called them towards the prayer.
لا يهتموا بدينهم.
They have not called them towards the religion.
فقط كل الاهتمام بالدنيا.
All of their worries are about the dunya, the world.
وما يجعلهم ناجحين في الدنيا.
And what will make them successful in the dunya.
فإذا كبر الأولاد.
And so when the children get older,
وأصبح أولاد عاقين.
and when they come to an age of being intellectual,
صح عندنا الآباء والأمهات انظروا إلى أولادي تعالوا اقرأوا على أولادي تعالوا اجلسوا مع أولادي.
And so they say that look at the children of other people and how they are doing, and they are worried about their own children.
ما دروا أن الأولاد نبت زرعهم فإذا أحسنوا البذرة حسنت الثمرة.
And they don't realize that this is all from the origins and the roots. Had the origins been pure, then the later years would have been pure. Had the seeds been pure, the fruits would have been pure also.
كل مولود يولد على الفطرة فأبواه يهودانه أو يمجسانه أو ينصرانه.
Each child is born in the state of fitrah, i.e. the natural disposition, but it is the parents that either make them into a Jew or a Christian.
فأنتم أحسنتم بربط أولادكم وبناتكم بمجالس الصلاة على النبي المصطفى.
So you have done very well by linking your boys and your girls and your children to the gatherings of remembering the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
حتى لو لم يفهموا سوف تنزل على قلوبهم أنوار النبي المصطفى.
And to such a degree that if you were to look at their hearts, you would see the lights of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasallam therein.
سوف يعرفون معناها مع الوقت.
And so you will realize that as time comes.
تذكر قصة عن الإمام سهل التستري من كبار أئمة التربية والتصوف.
There's a story by one of the great imams of spirituality and of tarbiyah, Sahal al-Tustari, a story that's mentioned about him.
قال علمني خالي السري السقطي وأنا صغير 3 كلمات.
So he said that my uncle taught me whilst I was a child of
3 كلمات.
of 3 years.
قال لي قلها كل يوم 3 مرات.
في كل يوم 3 مرات يعني. He taught me 3 words to be said 3 times a day.
فقال قل الله معي الله ناظري الله شاهدي الله قريب مني.
So say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with me, Allah is watching me, and Allah is close to me.
جلست سنة 2 3 أقولها كل يوم.
So he said I sat for a few years and I would say this every day.
ثم قال لي زدها حتى تأتي بها كل يوم 7.
So then he said to me, increase in this until you said every day 7 times.
وهو صغير ما كان يفهم معناها.
He was young, so he didn't understand the reality.
لكن نورها كان ينزل على قلبه.
However, the light of this was entering into his heart.
وعندما بدأ يكبر بدأ يدرك معناها.
And so as he got older, he began to perceive the reality of this.
قال فلما أصبحت شابا.
So he said, when I became a teenager,
كلما هممت بعمل معصية.
so every time that I would go close to disobedience,
تذكرت أن الله معي أن الله ناظري أن الله شاهدي أن الله قريب مني فاستحييت أن أعصيه.
and so I would remember that Allah is with me, Allah is watching me, Allah is witnessing me, and Allah is with me wherever I am. And so I would become distant from those disobedient acts.
وهكذا هي التربية الصالحة.
And so this is the tarbiyah, i.e. the nurturing of the righteous for their children.
وهذا الفضل من الله.
And this is a grace from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
سيدنا داود كان يقول لله سبحانه وتعالى يا رب إن 360 من آل داود يقومون لك الليل.
And so Sayyidina Dawood would say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that 33 years.
36 years old, his family, so that he was praying at night.
Okay, so 36 of his family were praying Qiyamul Layl. 360? From 360 years they were praying. Of his family were praying Qiyamul Layl.
فقال له يا داود.
And so he said to him, O Dawood.
من الذي أقامهم وأنام غيرهم.
So he said to Dawood, Allah says to Dawood, who is the one that has allowed them to stand at night and has caused the others to remain asleep?
قال أنت يا رب.
Dawood says, you, my Lord.
قال أفتمن علي بمنة أنا أعطيتهم إياها.
And so are you talking about a grace that I have blessed you with?
هو الذي علق قلوبكم بهذه المجالس.
He is subhanahu wa ta'ala the one that has linked your hearts to these gatherings.
في وقت الناس غافلة لا تدرك قيمة هذه المجالس.
In this time there are people that are heedless, they do not understand the value of these gatherings.
لو قلنا لكثير من الناس تعالوا إلى مجلس خير يترددون.
If you were to say to people, come to these gatherings of value, they'd be doubtful and they wouldn't want to do it.
لكن لو كانت مباراة بين برشلونة وتشيلسي ولا كذا تحصل كل الناس يروحون.
However, if you call them to other activities like football and you mentioned Chelsea and things like that, then you would see them haste towards it.
لماذا؟ لأنهم لا يدركون عظمة هذه المجالس.
Why? This is because they do not understand or perceive the grandeur of such gatherings.
هذه المجالس التي تتنزل فيها الرحمة.
These are the gatherings within which the mercy of Allah descends.
وتغشاكم فيها السكينة.
And He envelops you in His tranquility.
والآن تحفنا الملائكة وأن كنا لا نشعر.
Right now, even though we do not perceive, we are being encircled by angels.
هذه المجالس التي يخرج الآن الروح منها من هذا الباب الآن عندما تدخل هذا الباب وقد غفر الله لك جميع ذنوبك.
Right now there will be people, a person that will walk through the door and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive all of his sins.
الحديث في صحيح مسلم.
There's a hadith in the Sahih of Imam Muslim.
ما اجتمع قوم
that no people gather
في بيت من بيوت الله.
in a house from the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
كتاب الله ويتدارسونه.
Who read the book of Allah and teach it.
إلا ونزلت عليهم السكينة
except that Allah descends upon them
وغشيتهم الرحمة
and He envelops them in mercy,
وحفتهم الملائكة
and the angels envelop them,
وذكرهم الله في من عنده.
and Allah mentions them with those that are with Him.
والحديث الآخر
And there's another hadith,
أشهدكم أني قد غفرت لهم.
bear witness that I have forgiven all of them.
ربما اليوم جلسة مولد جلسة ذكر،
Perhaps, there's a gathering of a mawlid or dhikr,
لكن جاء واحد حضر يبغى يشوف من هذا الضيف، من هذا، ما جاء عشان المجلس، جاء عشان يشوف من الضيف هذا.
so maybe there's somebody that comes but his heart is not really in the gathering, he comes for some other reason.
أو يريد حاجة من الشيخ شمس، قالوا احضر معنا المجلس ثم أعطيك الحاجة.
Or maybe he's come for a need and he wants to take something. He's got no relation to the gathering but he's come for some other reason.
لم يحضر رغبة في حضور مجلس الخير.
He is not present looking or seeking the benefit of the gathering.
لكن حتى هذا لأنه حضر مع أهل الخير يغفر الله له.
However, even this person, by virtue of him being with the people of khair, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses him equally.
لذلك لما قال الحق سبحانه وتعالى هم أشهدكم أني قد غفرت لهم.
For this reason, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, bear witness that I have forgiven them,
قال ملك يا رب إن فيهم فلان عبد خطأ إنما أتى لحاجة ما يبغى المجلس هذا.
one of the angels will say, Allah, there was this person there who wasn't there for that reason, even are you going to forgive him?
قال هم القوم ولا يشقى جليسهم بهم.
Allah will say that they are a people, the people of that gathering, that nobody who is even with them will ever suffer any or be able to suffer any difficulty.
فكلنا ندخل في بركة بعضنا البعض.
So each one of us has entered into the blessing of the other.
فيغفر لهذا ببركة هذا ولهذا ببركة هذا.
So this one has been forgiven by virtue of the other one, and he's been forgiven by the virtue of his brother.
هذه لن تجدوها إلا في مجالس الذكر.
This you will not find anywhere else except in the gatherings of remembrance.
هذا في الدنيا.
This is in the dunya.
أما في الآخرة
As for the hereafter,
سوف ينادي المنادي.
A caller will call.
سيعلم الجمع غدا من هم أهل الكرم على الله.
And so that time and that day, people will know who are the people of honor.
من هم الذين يكرمهم الله.
Who are those that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will honor?
الناس كلها تتساءل من هؤلاء أهل الكرم على الله.
The people will begin to look around. Who are these people that are honored by Allah?
فيقول المنادي
The caller will say,
أهل مجالس الذكر إنهم أهل مجالس الذكر.
Indeed, they are the people of dhikr. They are the people that gathered for dhikr.
في تلك الساعة
In that hour,
سوف يتمنى الكون بما فيه أن لو حضروا معكم هذه الساعة.
everybody at that time would wish had they had been amongst those people of those gatherings.
لو قدموا كل ما يملكون من أجل أن يحضروا ساعة مثل هذه.
If they could sacrifice everything that they own just so they could have gathered in those gatherings.
لأن هذه الأوقات التي تبقى لك تستأنس بها في الدنيا. قبل قليل استأنسنا وسمعنا الإنشاد الطيب والكلام الطيب. نستأنس بها في الدنيا ونسعد بها في الآخرة.
So this is the opportunity that you've been afforded. This is the time for you to benefit from these gatherings of nasheed and dhikr, so that you can benefit. You can do that in this dunya, and you can benefit and be happy and joyful in the hereafter.
سيدنا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم
The messenger of God, our master sallallahu alaihi wasallam,
أتت له شاة. شاة.
So a sheep was brought to him.
ثم بعد ذلك تصدق بها وأبقى الذراع.
So after that time, he gave it all away and remained with him an arm.
بعد ذلك قال يا عائشة ماذا بقي من الشاة؟
So then the Prophet said to his wife, Aisha, what's remained from the sheep?
قالت له يا رسول الله بقي الذراع.
She said, it's a dhara'a, an arm that's left.
قال لها لا.
He said to her, no.
بقيت الشاة وذهب الذراع.
So he said that the whole sheep has remained, but only the arm has gone.
هذا الذي تصدقنا فيه هو الذي سوف يبقى لنا يوم القيامة، والذي سوف نأكل الذراع سوف ينتهي.
So he said, because what you have sacrificed, that is waiting for you in the hereafter. What you've eaten, that's gone in this dunya.
وهذه الأوقات التي نحضر فيها مجالس الخير هي التي تبقى لنا يوم القيامة.
So these are the moments of these beautiful gatherings that are going to remain for us in the hereafter.
وغيرها من الأوقات ينتهي.
Other times they will finish.
ولذلك السعيد من عمر وقته دائما بالخير.
And so for that reason, the one that wants to be joyful is continuous in good action.
ولذلك النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يخبر عن بعض أهل الجنة.
And so for this reason, the Messenger of God ﷺ informed us about some of the people of Jannah.
ويقول ما يتحسر أهل الجنة على شيء.
And he said that the people of Jannah will not be tahassar.
قال لا يتحسر على الجنة على شيء.
They will not regret anything. They will not regret a single thing, either people of Jannah.
إلا على ساعة قضوها في غير ذكر الله.
Except an hour or a moment that they spent in other than the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
تعرفون لما؟
Do you know why?
لأنهم لو تغنموا أوقاتهم بالذكر وبمجالس الخير وبما فيه فائدة لارتقوا مراتب أعلى في الجنة.
Because had they occupied even those moments with dhikr and khair, then they would have been elevated in their degrees in Jannah.
لأنه كثير من الصلاة في الدنيا يتمنى الإنسان يوم القيامة أنه لو لم يكن يعرفها.
And so there's many prayers within the dunya that on the day of judgment will have no benefit for him.
حال الناس كثير من الصلات الناس في الدنيا يتمنوا لم تكن لهم يوم القيامة. عندما يكون يوم القيامة يقولون ليت لنا هذه الصلاة لم تكن.
So there's many relations and many such things that will have no benefit for them in the hereafter.
فلذلك الذي يدرك قيمة وعظمة هذه الساعات يدرك ما يكرم به في الدنيا وفي الآخرة.
So the one who understands and perceives the value of these moments recognizes the benefits of the hereafter.
وأما الذين تضيع عليهم الساعات سوف يندمون يوم لا ينفع الندم.
And so those who these moments have passed by them, whilst they did not benefit, then they will be regretful on the day of judgment.
فما أعظم التوفيق.
And so how excellent or great is tawfiq, facilitation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
كل ما أنتم في هذا من سر التوفيق.
All of what you are in right now in terms of goodness is from the secret of facilitation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
سيدنا رسول الله فيما يوم مسك بكتف سيدنا معاذ.
So one day that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was sat with Sayyidina Mu'adh.
وقال يا معاذ إني أحبك في الله.
He said to Mu'adh, I love you for the sake of Allah.
يا الله ما أجملها من عبارة.
This is, how great was this moment for Mu'adh.
تخيل لو كنت أنت في زمن رسول الله.
Just think for a moment if you were in the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
وقال لك رسول الله يا فلان إني أحبك في الله.
And the Prophet said to you, oh so and so, I love you for the sake of Allah.
هل تظنون في أجمل من هذه العبارة؟
Can you think of anything more beautiful than this?
لكن فاز بها سيدنا معاذ.
However, Sayyidina Mu'adh was successful in this matter.
لكن إن شاء الله إذا رأينا يوم القيامة يقول لنا هذه العبارة.
Inshallah, if we are to see the Prophet on the day of judgment, inshallah he will say that to us.
القلوب المعلقة بحب رسول الله تكرم بهذا النداء يوم القيامة.
The hearts which are linked to the Prophet and the love of the Prophet in this dunya, then they will be honored with this statement in the hereafter.
هل يستوي في الدنيا من يمضي حياته وهو لا يعرف شيء عن رسول الله وبينما يجتمع كل أسبوع ليسمع شمائل رسول الله؟
And is there any way that this can happen when somebody spends his entire week or every week remembering the Shama'il of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam?
ما يستوي.
He will not miss out on this.
قال رسول الله يا معاذ إني أحبك في الله فلا تدعن دبر كل صلاة اللهم أعني على ذكرك وعلى شكرك وعلى حسن عبادتك.
He said to him that after every single salah, at the end of the salah, do not forget to mention, and then he mentioned these words, Allahumma inni ala dhikrik, Allah help me in your remembrance and help me to be grateful to you and help me to be grateful for your grace.
فإذا كان الذكر يحتاج إلى معونة والشكر يحتاج إلى معونة والعبادة يحتاج إلى معونة ما الذي بقي لنا؟
So all of this is only possible through Allah's help. So what's remaining for us?
ولذلك أنت بكلك في بركة عون الله سبحانه وتعالى.
And so your entire person is only by virtue of the blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
كلما أدرك الإنسان هذا المعنى كلما بدأ يعيش حلاوة شهود الفضل.
And so every time that you perceive this reality, that it increases that understanding of to be grateful for this grace from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
وشهود الفضل يرزق الإنسان حسن الأدب.
And to recognize this grace increases one in their manners and adab towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
حتى إنه ساداتنا الشاذلية وتعرفون طرق السير إلى الله متعددة بعدد أنفاس الخلق وفيها مشايخ كثر فمنهم ساداتنا الشاذلية يقول الإمام الشاذلي طريقنا قائم على شهود المنة والفضل لله.
Likewise, the Shadri order, which is from the spiritual orders in Islam, they recognize that there are different ways to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and for them they recognize that one of the great ways is to be thankful and grateful to Allah, to recognize that, to be grateful for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessings.
وإذا حصل العون من الله للفتى حصل له الخير كله.
And so if somebody has understood this blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's understood everything.
وإذا سلب العون من العبد خسر في الدنيا وفي الآخرة.
And if he is restricted from the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then he is devoid of everything in this dunya and the akhirah.
إذا كان سيدنا معاذ يحتاج أن يقولها بعد كل صلاة فما بالي بالك أنت.
If Sayyidina Mu'adh was instructed to say this after every prayer, I am seeking Allah's help to be grateful, then what's remaining for you and I?
وبعضهم يمر عليه أسبوع وبعضهم يمر عليه شهر وربما عليه فترة أكثر من ذلك ولا يقول اللهم أعني على ذكرك وعلى شكرك وعلى حسن عبادتك.
For some people, weeks will pass by, months will pass by, and they will not ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for help in thanking Him and recognizing His help and His blessings.
ولذلك نحن نقولها الآن ونقولها من قلوبنا ونسأل الله أن يجعلها دائما عندنا علينا.
And so we all say now with our hearts and with our tongues, inshallah, and with presence to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وعلى شكرك وعلى حسن عبادتك. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وعلى شكرك وعلى حسن عبادتك. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وعلى شكرك وعلى حسن عبادتك. لأنك أنت كلك الله أوجدك من أجله.
And so because you are entirely from Allah and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created you for His sake.
قل إن صلاتي
Say, Allah is a verse in the Quran where Allah says, say, my prayer,
ونسكي
my sacrifice,
ومحياي
my life,
ومماتي
and my death
لله رب العالمين.
is entirely for Allah, the Lord of all the worlds.
لذلك أمرت
With that we were commanded,
وأنا أول المسلمين.
and I am the first of the believers.
طيب إذا كانت الصلاة والنسك والمحيا والممات كلها لله ما الذي بقي لك؟
And so if our prayer and sacrifice, life and death is all for Allah, then what's remaining for us?
لذلك الله يقول في كتابه العزيز
For this reason Allah says in His glorious book
لأنك أنت بكلك له سبحانه
that
وتعالى
you entirely are for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
وابتغ فيما آتاك الله.
So seek out what Allah has written for you.
ماذا آتاك الله؟ ماذا آتاك الله؟
So what has Allah given you?
أعطاك صحة،
Allah has given you health,
قوة،
strength,
عافية،
security,
مال،
wealth,
عقل،
intellect,
إدراك،
perception,
فهم،
understanding.
كل شيء. وابتغ فيما آتاك الله كل هذه الأشياء.
Allah has given all of these, so understand all of these things.
وابتغ فيما آتاك الله الدار الآخرة.
And be mindful of what Allah has preserved for you in the hereafter.
ولا تنس نصيبك
And do not forget your nasib, i.e. what's written for you
من الدنيا.
in terms of the dunya.
يعني الأصل أنت للآخرة لكن لا تنسى الدنيا.
You know that what is there for you in the akhirah, but don't forget this dunya.
لكن حال الناس الآن العكس.
But the state of the people is the opposite.
الناس مع الدنيا والطيب الذي يتذكر الآخرة.
People are entirely concerned with the hereafter and they have some concern for the dunya.
فتجد الناس مشغولين. أستعجب كثير أو بعض الشباب بعض البنات نراهم بالخارج تاركين للصلوات مرتكبين للمحرمات. كنا في السجون زرنا بعض السجون يعني اليومين هذه وجدنا عدد من المسلمين سبب سجنهم كثرة المخدرات بينهم. هذا أمر يزعج ويضايق.
So people are heedless in this dunya. Some of they leave the prayer. They are preoccupied with sins. And this is the state of many people. We were just in the prisons, we visited the prisons, and we saw that people are there for different reasons, and sometimes they're there because of their issues with one another.
لما عندنا يبعد القلب عن الرب يرتكب المحرمات هذه.
And so when somebody's heart is distant from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then all of these sins become easy for him.
فأنتم رب يكرمكم وحفظكم بهذه المجالس.
So Allah has honored you by linking you to these gatherings.
لكن هل يصلح مننا أن نكتفي بذلك في أنفسنا؟
So is there anyone from us that can understand this in ourselves?
أكثركم قرب من النبي.
The majority of you in your closeness to the Prophet ﷺ.
أكثركم حرص على نشر الخير بين الناس.
So increasing your love for the Prophet ﷺ and in your creating creating good relations between the people.
لو كل واحد منكم يحضر اليوم.
If each one of us
قال أنا فقط سوف أحضر معي شخص واحد.
If each one of us intended to bring one person with him,
جعل في تفكيري أنني سوف أجتهد على إحضار شخص واحد لمجلس الخير هذا.
if one of us exhausted our effort in thinking that we would bring at least one person to this gathering,
لن تمر سنة
the year would not pass
إلا والناس في أسفل الشارع من كثرة الحاضرين.
except that the people in the gathering will reach to the road outside because of how many people there would be.
وهل يعقل أني لا أستطيع أن أؤثر في شخص واحد؟
And he knows that he could not affect a single person.
أنا أستطيع وأستطيع لا بقوتي ولكن بعون الله.
So he knows that I can do it, but not because of myself, but because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's help.
ولذلك الخير الذي نحن فيه
And so for that reason, the great goodness that we are in
ينبغي أن نفكر كيف أن نعممه على الناس.
necessitates that we think about how we are dealing with people.
أنتم ما تتصوروا مثل هذا المجلس كم فيه من الخير.
You will not be able to truly picture just how much goodness there are in this gathering.
كم يحفظ الله البلد هذه من بعض الكوارث بسبب هذا المجلس.
How many people Allah has protected in this town or in this city by virtue of gatherings like this.
والله لو عرفت الحكومات ما يخبأ في الخير من هذه المجالس لألزمت الناس بحضور هذه المجالس.
He says, by Allah, if the governments understood how these gatherings protect the land and the people, then they would necessitate that such gatherings take place.
كم من مصائب ترفع عن البلاد ببركة مجالس الذكر.
How many issues are lifted or problems are elevated from the people by virtue of such gatherings.
كم من نكبات تبعد من البلاد ببركة ذكر رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم.
How many afflictions are removed from the land by virtue of remembering the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
كم من قلوب شقية تسعد وتئذى بالشقاوة عند حضورهم مجالس رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم.
How many hearts which are in pain are entering into a state of bliss by virtue of the gatherings of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
الناس في غفلة سادتي.
The people are in a state of heedlessness.
فمدوا لهم أيديكم بتعريفهم وتحبيب قلوبهم بذكر رسول الله.
So extend out your hands to them by getting to know them and by loving them and trying to bring them to the remembrance of the Prophet.
وربما الواحد يقول يا أخي أنا كلمت فلان مرة ما يبغى يجي هو براحته.
Maybe somebody can say, I spoke to such and such, I've spoken to him many times and he just doesn't listen.
وأنا يعني ربما أدعو فلان فيقول لي لماذا تدعوني؟ أو ربما يسمعني الكلمة لا أحب سماعها.
Maybe you spoke to somebody and he says, look, whenever I speak to him, he just says, why are you calling me? And maybe he says something that you don't like.
يا سيدي الفاضل.
He's used a polite word for us, but my brother.
نبيكم محمد ذهب إلى كل مكان وكان يضرب وكان يرمى وكان يؤذى ولم يكن يبالي.
Your Prophet ﷺ went to each place to call people to Allah, and he was hit, and things were pelted at him, and things were thrown at him, but he still did it.
أنت لو حصل لك شيء من هذا فهذا لك شرف.
And if a single thing from this was achieved for you, this would be a great honor for you.
أنك تشبهت برسول الله.
You have imitated the messenger of God.
ولكن الحمد لله الآن لا أحد يضرب ولا أحد يأذي.
Alhamdulillah, but today people do not hit you and nor do they say anything to you.
ولذلك لا تفوتوا على أنفسكم أن تكونوا مفاتيح خير في أنفسكم وفي بلدانكم وفي مجتمعاتكم.
And so for that reason, do not miss out on this opportunity to achieve a great goodness for yourselves and for your people and your surroundings.
صلاح العباد والبلاد بحسن الصلة بالله وبرسوله.
Good relations with the people and land by virtue of your good relations with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
سعادة الدنيا والآخرة بحسن الصلة بالله وبرسوله.
And the joy of this dunya and the hereafter is in that relationship with Allah and His Messenger.
والنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول
And the Messenger of God sallallahu alaihi wasallam said,
لأن يهدي الله بك رجلا واحدا
if Allah guides a single man through you,
خير لك من الدنيا وما فيها.
this is better for you than everything in the dunya and that which is in the hereafter.
ولذلك أنت عندما تجتهد على شخص أو تكون في سبب هداية آخر أو عندكم أعداد كبيرة غير مسلمة، ناس طيبة أخلاقها رائعة لكن ما يعرفون شيء حقيقي عن هذا الدين، فتكون أنت سبب في هدايته، تستطيع أن تقف يوم القيامة بين يدي الله والحمد لله في صحيفتك 1 أو 2 أو 3 تفرح أنك أدخلتهم في دين الله.
And so if you exhausted your effort in trying to help one person come to the deen, or if a single person comes to the religion, or maybe you've got lots of non-Muslim friends who don't know anything about the religion, but you exhaust your effort in trying to bring them to Islam or tell them the reality of Islam or the real Islam, then on the day of judgment, if there's somebody or people that are in your row with you that came into Islam through you, then this will be a great joy for you on that day of judgment, that these people came into Islam because of you.
النبي يقول لا يؤمن من بات شبعان وجاره جائع.
And the Prophet ﷺ said that a person has not truly believed who goes to sleep whilst he has a full belly and his neighbor goes to sleep hungry.
بعضهم يربطها فقط بالأكل.
Some people think that this is only pertaining to food.
أنتم هنا شبعانين من الذكر وغيركم جائع بالكفر.
He says, you people right now, you are full of dhikr, and there are other people who are empty of dhikr.
جائع بالكفر.
They are hungry.
أنتم شبعانين بالذكر وهم جائعين بالكفر.
You are full with dhikr and they are full of unbelief.
فعلينا دور أي نطعمهم، لكن نطعمهم من طعام الإيمان، أن نذوقهم حقيقة الإسلام. وأنتم في نعمة أن كثير من حولكم تستطيع أن تجتهدوا عليهم فتدخلون في دين الله.
And so for you is to go around and to feed them with iman. It's not just to feed them with food, but to feed them with iman.
الواحد يقول لا هذول ما يمكن أن يسلموا.
One may say that look, it's not possible for them to listen.
سيدنا عمر بن الخطاب.
سيدنا عمر بن الخطاب.
من فينا لا يحبه؟
Who is there from amongst us doesn't love him?
من فينا لا يتغنى بقصصه وقوته وخدمته للدين؟
Who is the one who doesn't sing his stories and his praises and his services to religion?
النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كان يقول لو كان نبيا بعدي لكان عمر.
The Messenger of God ﷺ used to say, had there been a prophet after me, it would surely be Umar.
كان كثير البكاء من خشية الله.
He used to cry a lot out of fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
رأيتم هذا الإنسان العظيم؟
Have you seen this great person?
كان من أكثر الناس قساوة.
He was the greatest of people in terms of kasawa.
بل لربما
He had the hardest heart from the people.
بل لربما يكون قلبه أقسى من الحجر.
Perhaps his heart was even harder than a stone. This is before Islam.
حتى إنه قبل الإسلام كانوا يقولون الحمار الخطاب يمكن يسلم بس هو ما يسلم.
Some people used to say that before he converted to Islam, that maybe his donkey would accept Islam, but he would not accept Islam.
حماره ممكن يسلم بس هو ما يسلم.
Maybe the donkey will accept Islam, but he will not accept Islam.
لكن النبي قال اللهم أعز الإسلام بأحد العمرين.
However, the Prophet ﷺ made dua and he said, "Oh Allah, honor Islam with one of the two Umars."
وكلاهما أصعب، كلاهما قساة. الأول عمرو بن هشام أبو جهل فرعون الأمة، والثاني عمر بن الخطاب قلبه قاسي كان شديد.
Both of them were very difficult. Both of them had extremely hard hearts. One was Umar ibn Hisham, who was known as Abu Jahl, the pharaoh of his ummah, the Prophet called him, and the other one was Umar ibn al-Khattab.
لكن تعلمون أن دعوة النبي تذوب الحجر.
But you know that the dua of the Prophet ﷺ could even break a stone.
فهذه الدعوة أصابت قلب سيدنا عمر.
And so this dua was able to penetrate the heart of Sayyidina Umar.
فحولته من أقسى الناس إلى ألطف وأطيب الناس.
So it changed him from the most hard-hearted of people to the softest and most light-hearted of people.
فلا تظن أن هناك أحد خارج عن قدرة الله.
And so do not ever consider that there's somebody who is outside the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
أكثر الناس ربما يكون أذية حتى للإسلام لو أراد الله لأدخله في دينه سبحانه.
There are many people that you see that are extremely harmful towards Islam, but if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wishes, they will come to Islam.
لكن لابد أن نتحرك ولو تحركة بسيطة يا سادة.
However, it's for us to be active, even if it's only a little.
أقل الحركة وهي عظيمة عند الله.
A small amount of movement or activism is great in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
الآن تخيلوا من هو هل لك جار غير مسلم طيب أو زميل في العمل غير مسلم، أريد كل واحد منكم أن يضع شخص في باله.
And so I want you to picture in your mind right now a neighbor or somebody that you know who is not a Muslim.
هل وضعتم أحد في بالكم حقيقة؟ هل وضعتوا شخص معين في بالكم حقيقة؟
He's being serious. He's saying, I want you to right now picture in your head somebody, a neighbor or a non-Muslim that you know of who perhaps has good character, but I want you to think of him in your head right now.
هل وضعتم أحد في بالكم؟ أو شخص حقيقي الآن تتخيل في بالك شخص طيب أخلاق وعاقل لكنه غير مسلم.
Have you got somebody in your mind right now? He really wants you to do it, that you know has good character, but he's not a Muslim.
في أحد في بالكم الآن؟
There's someone in your mind right now.
الذي تخيل أحد يرفع اليد.
Anyone that has got someone in their mind, put their hands up. So it's a non-Muslim who has good character, who's nice, but is not a Muslim, have you got an image in your mind?
الذين رفعوا أيديهم 5 فقط. هل معقول البقية ما عندهم أي أحد يعرفونه غير مسلم يعني شخصيته طيبة؟
He says, what about the rest of you? You don't know a single good Muslim? Good non-Muslim?
هذه مشكلة كبيرة.
This is a big problem.
أنتم صدمتوني.
He says that you saddened me.
يا جماعة في الناس فيها خير كثير.
He says, people that they are amongst the people of great goodness.
فتشوا في الناس لابد أن تجدوا ناس طيبة.
So he says, look around. No doubt you will find non-Muslims but who are good people.
هؤلاء يحتاجون منكم دعوة في آخر الليل.
Those are the people that require your prayers at the end of the night.
يحتاج منكم دمعة تخرج لله في آخر الليل أن يهديهم وأن يصلحهم.
They require the blood that comes through your tears at the end of the night.
يحتاج منكم بكاء عند الله أن يمن عليهم بالإسلام.
They require for you to cry for their sake in the presence of the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
دمعتك التي تخرجها من عينك تهز عرش السماء.
The tears that come from your eyes, they impact what's in the heavens.
الله سبحانه وتعالى إذا دعوته بصدق استجاب لك.
If Allah is called upon with wholeheartedness, then He will definitely respond.
عندنا يا جماعة أعظم بضاعة لم نحسن عرضها.
There is for us
This precious item.
we have our people the most precious of commodities with us.
الله رزقنا بهذا الإسلام فبخلنا به على الناس.
Allah has honored us with this Islam, but we have been stingy with it regarding other people.
الله أخرجكم من باكستان ومن السعودية ومن أماكن كثيرة وجعلكم في هذه البلاد حتى يكون لكم دور في نفع الناس وهدايتهم.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has brought you from Muslim lands like Pakistan or Saudi Arabia or from wherever, so that you could be a benefit to the people around you.
يقول لا أنا خرجت عشان أبحث عن العمل.
So maybe somebody will say, no, I just came out to earn some money or for.
صحيح تبحث عن العمل لكن ما تتخلى عن مهمتك الأصلية.
So he said that's fine. It's fine for you to do that to earn a living, but do not forget your actual purpose.
مهمتنا الأصلية يا سادتي خدمة هذا الدين.
What is paramountly important for us is service of religion.
مهمتنا الأصلية خدمة النبي المصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم.
Most important for us is serving the Messenger of God صلى الله عليه وسلم.
9 من التجار خرجوا من حضرموت إلى إندونيسيا.
There were 9 tradesmen that went from Hadramaut, which is South Yemen, to Indonesia.
انشغلوا بالتجارة حتى لا يطلبوا شيئا من أحد.
And they began to work for their livelihood to the point that they did not ask from anybody.
ذهبوا إلى إندونيسيا وهم يعبدون الأوثان.
And they went to Indonesia where they used to worship idols.
لا يعرفون شيء اسمه الرب.
They did not know anything about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
لكن بالمعاملة الطيبة وبالأخلاق الحسنة تغيرت إندونيسيا ببركة هؤلاء 9 فأصبحت أكبر دولة إسلامية.
By virtue of good action and good character, the entire Indonesia was able to be transformed and has become the biggest Muslim country in the world.
الله يجري خير الكثير على أيديكم.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring much goodness for you.
وينفع بكم إن شاء
And
الله.
may He benefit from you.
ويملأ قلوبكم حب.
And He fill your hearts with love
لله ولرسوله.
for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and for the Messenger.
ويجعلنا وإياكم
And He makes me and you,
مفاتيح للخير مغاليق للشر.
and He, as a doorway to goodness and locking the doors for evil.